Hello there. This is the operational video of the breathalyzer. So as you can see that the device is out here, and we are going to pair the device with the Android application, and we will measure the data from these devices. So let's get started. So initially, as you can see, the device is turned off, and here is the application, the Android application breathalyzer. Now I'm just turning on the device. As you can see that the LED has been illuminated. Now let's turn on the app. So device is searching, and as you can see that the device has been appeared nearby the connections. So let's connect it. So application is connecting to the device. As you can see that the device has been paired, and the very first screen is the body thermal sensing. So whenever you tap this gauge, then it will start measuring the thermal temperature. So let's tap on it. Now as you can see that my room temperature is around 28 degrees Celsius, but right now I'm not sensing any of the object or any of the body, human body, right? So let's sense the body. We just need to put the device in front of the forehead. As you can see, okay, now here's the reading. That is around 34 to 35. So this is how you can measure the body temperature. Okay, now let's move to the second data. That is SPO2 and heart rate. So tap on it. Now you just need to put the finger on the top of this sensor. Initially that will take some time to warm up or to calibrate the data. For the certain amount of time the data would be wrong, like as you can see, like the heart rate initially was very high, but that takes some time to get the right heart rate and the SPO2 data. As you can see, like the heart rate is 75 and the SPO2 level is 100. So this is how the optical sensor works. And when you are measuring the heart rate and SPO2, then you just need to shut your mouth, because at the same time if you are talking something, then that will mess up the data. So you just need to carefully put your finger on the top of the sensors without moving your hand. And here is the data. So now let's come to the very next slide. That's the environmental data. So basically there is one environmental sensor inside the sensors. So the main use case of this environmental sensor is to sense the internal temperature as well as the humidity. So we can correlate the data, or we can correct the data by this temperature data or the humidity data. So that is used for the temperature compensation. As you can see that the internal temperature is 40, the humidity is 27, and the air pressure is 1001. The temperature is a bit high because we have the battery inside and the gas sensor inside. So gas sensor is warming up. So that's how the temperature is a bit high. But our main intent is to sense the internal temperature or the internal humidity of this device, which we can use this data for the correlation or the correction of the gas data, right? So it's not an ambient data, or it's not an ambient temperature or humidity data, but that is a data which is coming inside this device. Now let's move to the very next slide. Here is the motion data. So whenever you tap on this gauge, then the device has the internal accelerometer and the gyro. So it will give the acceleration data. As you can see, like we have total 6 dimensions over here: the accelerometer XYZ and the gyro XYZ. Now let's move the device. So as you can see, like one of my colleagues is moving the device. So this data is continuously changing. Right now we have the raw data, but very soon we will create one 3D object on the top of this raw data, and will illuminate or emanate the 3D object over here. Okay, now let's come to the very next movement. The breath data. So the device has a inside the device there is a array of the gas sensors. So this breath measurement is for the the health diagnostic, which we are going to measure from the breath, human breath, right? So you just need to attach the filter with this device mouth and just need to exhale your breath into the device. So let's test it. As you can see, the device will take some time to get the data, and there are a total 9 different channels from the different gas sensors. Now we just need to attach the filter on the top of this device. Now one of my colleagues is exhaling the breath into the device. As you can see, there is some variation with the different channels. Some of the channels are more sensitive to the VOC level. Like whenever you put any of the VOC material nearby this device, then it will be able to sense. Let's suppose if you are using the cleaner, the PCB cleaner, or any turpentine, then it is able to sense it. As you can see, some of the channels are continuously reflecting and it's changing. Okay. So initially we will have the data, the different channel data. Then after we are going to use the AWS SDK to send the data to our AWS cloud, from where we will classify the air or classify the breath. Now let's come to the next slide. The battery. So this gauge is used for the battery diagnostic, like to measure the health of the battery, like how much the battery has hold the charge and the charging current and so on. So when you click on it, then you can see like the battery voltage is 4.02, which is high, and now the current is minus 139. Now this minus sign indicate that the battery is discharging, because right now I haven't connected any of the USB connector or any of the chargers with that. So when I connect the chargers, then this value would be positive, but at the same time the battery will charge from the charger, it will not discharge. There is one option over here, that is a setting option. So that is for the setting of the devices, like whenever you need to update the firmware, then you can do so. Let's click on the setting. As you can see, like device has an internal RTC, so by this application you can also update the RTC, the date and time of the device. So when he clicks on this tab, then you can see like the data has been sent from this Android application to device, so that it is nothing but the current date and time. Now let's click on the get config. So this get config command is used to get the configuration of the device. So you can see like the various calibration parameter of the sensors, the current date and time, which is coming from the device. Now let's click on the device info. As you can see, there is a firmware version, SDK version, the UID, that is a unique ID of the device. Hardware version is also there. You can also set the calibration period. Let's suppose if you need to calibrate the device with some standard gases, then you can do so. Let's click on the calibration. So from the date and time picker, you just need to pick the date and time, but for now we are not using the calibration, so let's cancel it. The auto update tab is for the firmware update over the air. As you can see, there is a one tab called auto update. So let's update the firmware. As you can see, the device has been attached with the USB with this PC. We are going to log the data with this PC. So right now we are moving towards the gas channel. Yeah, breath data. Okay, so when he clicks on the breath data, then as you can see, like the data is coming out here. At the same time, we are getting the logs on the PC. So that is with the help of the USB CDC. Now let's get the environmental temperature and humidity data. Environmental data. So he has been disabled it and he has turned on the environmental sensor data. As you can see, this is the environmental data which is coming out from the device. So this log helps for the diagnostic purpose. So that's it. That's all about the Theranose breathalyzer. Thank you.